And Rob, you were mentioning this idea of like like the ultimate part, or I think at least I saw you, I perceived you making a connection and an importance on that ultimate part, like holding space for like there, like it's this like it's this final goal,
Yeah,
it's this pinnacle of like, oh yeah, we've made it, but in like reality, we have like a lot of constraints. And like there are some times where like in order to get there, you need to work through conflict.
yeah,
A lot of times, like I'll just like speak from my personal experience. I've been like a people pleaser and quite conflict avoidant. But that's actually been a detriment to getting closer with folks. So like just acknowledging sometimes like there is conflict and we do need to ruffle feathers and hold. I think the more that we can like or that I've been able to like realize like okay, I have a problem here. If I could have had a magic wand in the past, I would have just been like, I wish I didn't have a problem with this and I could just go along with whatever the family wants to do or my friend group wants to do or partner, whatever it is, community. But sometimes like, no, I do have a problem with this. So we do need to engage in a conflict right now. But I do have this like with as with as much as I can, given the restraints of or constraints of like time, resources, energy, um, like how can I solve this to be able to move toward a togetherness for like everyone around me? And like building up I think like yeah, just like making more and more space for conscientious, skillful conflict resolution can be a really helpful thing. And because conflict is so important for living harmoniously together. And it's not necessarily, I don't know how realistic it is without some serious miracles happening that we'd see this in our lifetime.
yeah,
Um, and honestly, like, luckily, we don't need that. I don't believe we don't need to have reached that destination to experience the fruits of experiencing better and better togetherness and like what you were saying about the like the fruits of not necessarily being in conflict, but the fruits of just like what happens when we are all the working together and it's like the sum is greater than the or how do you say that? Like
I
the
think some of
yeah.
the part.
That sounds right. Something.
Working together is
Yeah.
we get something better than us just individually working ourselves out. And I'm reminded about this in terms of like the Army Navy game that just happened. And there's this quote, both my parents, and I do have to say like that was more of a historical example, Stephen, about the women or the men going off to war and not necessarily women, because I came from a mom and dad that both went into the army and both served and did all that stuff. And yet, like, so on the for the Army Navy game, they say, upon the fields of friendly strife, conflict, are sown the seeds that upon other fields on other days bear the fruits of victory. Other
Mm,
fields, it can mean like war and combat, but like the worst of the worst, but also like uh, if we just normalize and learn how to like be better and better sports and better sportsmen on like a football field or like in our families and all these other things, then we can actually work through a victorious resolution at the end of the day. I love what you said there about the art of war being like ultimately we are fighting, but we actually all lose if we totally obliterate the enemy and all their resources. Like we want to like try and work towards like actually keeping our enemies' resources full as much as possible, with still achieving victory so that we can all share in the fruits of the eventual resolution and peace from either interpersonal conflict or international conflict, I'd say.